This anime made the internet a power system. Dead Account is a story that follows a boy named Shoji Inshiro, a popular controversial flame baiter who goes by the name of Aringo. And for his content, he goes around beating up random civilians in public. Yeah, it's kind of like if Johnny Somali was Japanese, crazy athletic, and knew how to throw hands. Okay, maybe he is not as bad as Johnny Somali, but he's still pretty bad. Because of his public shenanigans and beating up random people, Shoji has become quite infamous, making him a target to thousands of hate comments. Luckily for our main character, the hate doesn't really get to him. In fact, he embraces it. He doesn't really care because a viewer who hates is still a viewer, which means money, baby, stop playing with him. But this obsession with views and money actually leads us to learn the indomitable drive that Shoji has for flame baiting. You see, Shoji has a younger sister named Akari, who Shoji loves deeply. But the thing is, Akari is extremely sickly and is currently admitted to a hospital with little time to live. Fortunately for our main character here, with all the money that he's gained from mercilessly beating strangers in public, he was able to pay for his sister's life-saving surgery in America. Seems like the only way to pay for healthcare these days is to go viral for being a public nuisance. So as Shoji happily texts his safe sister, he's quickly met by Katsubata, a guy who randomly breaks into his home with a sledgehammer and attacks him. Except it's not Shoji that Katsubata is aiming for, but rather his phone. But why? I mean, it's not every day someone breaks into your home for no reason. Well, you see, Akari actually died a month ago, with Shoji even being there while she passed. But he refuses to come to terms that Akari was gone, going on for weeks, falling into a depressive state, texting her account nonstop, hoping that he gets a message back. Until she actually responds. But this time it wasn't Akari, but rather her dead account. See what I did there? Cause you know, it's the name of the show. You see, when someone dies with a lingering attachment to their digital lives, their account just doesn't disappear, but rather it becomes an evil manifestation of their online persona. Bro, could you imagine all the dead accounts of Discord moderators? We would be cooked immediately. When Shoji is confronted with the dark reality that the person he's been messaging the whole time was a ghost, he couldn't believe it, which was kind of hilarious because at the moment she was literally whipping both Shoji and Katsubata, and he was just refusing the whole thing was true. Like, brother, I'm pretty sure the Akari you remember was not a 10-foot tall demon with Sharingan for eyes. Please lock in. Luckily, there are exorcists, people who can manifest powers through the internet. And let me tell you, the power system here is actually very creative. Your online presence literally translate into your abilities. That's wild. Katsubata's cyberkinesis power is a sledgehammer called the Banhammer of Civility, which low-key tells me he has to be a moderator of some sort, so I don't like him. Shoji can also wield this power due to his strong presence on Flamebait with his felony assault account, giving him the power of blue flames. Even that one OF girl who's under everyone's Twitter Basically, what you do online is who you are in a fight. Your digital footprint might even be a Zenkai boost in this universe. Anyways, back to the chaos. The phone smashing, the dead account reveal, Shoji's disbelief, it all flows so well. They perfectly exhibit the struggles of grief and depression while also doing a great job of explaining the overall premise with a major plot twist. It was actually here when I started thinking about all the possible ways that the show can portray these dead accounts. These are exaggerated, distorted versions of people's online personas, and that's kind of terrifying because most of us aren't our real selves online either. Think of all the people in the world who are practically glued to social media. That popular YouTuber you always watch, Reddit mods, fan accounts, your friends with their IG reels, and even you. With people from all corners of the internet who have passed, could you imagine how crazy some of these dead accounts could be? I mean, really think about it. Think about all the 4chan dead accounts that could be out there. By JJK standards, they would all have to at least be special grade, which puts them up there with Sukuna. But as terrifying and funny as that sounds, Shoji was not laughing because the first dead account he had to face was his sister's. And after a brutal fight, one where he's forced to confront the reality he's been running from, Shoji finally defeats Akari's dead account. After the fight, Soji ends up at Maiden Academy, a school for training people with cyberkinesis powers like him. It's here where we meet Akazi Sensei, a monk who is also teaching at the academy. Now, Akazi tries to convince Soji to stay at the academy to help harness his newfound powers. The only thing is, Soji, like any other regular human being, actually tried leaving. You know, it's kind of refreshing when you have a main character that has common sense and isn't just down for anything, unlike some characters.
Huh?
But that's neither here nor there, because Akazi had one more trick up his sleeve: Akari. Akazi knew who was responsible for Akari's death, telling Soji that if he joined the academy, he could possibly get revenge on the killer. Soji, whom I just complimented, actually claims that he does not need the academy and believes that he could do it on his own. So to prove it, he fights Katsubata. And here's how it turned out.
Just stop lying!
Turns out I spoke too soon. Speaking of Soji, as a protagonist, he's honestly refreshing. He's flawed, but in a modern way. He's not screaming about friendships, and he's not instantly trusting of strangers. He understands the internet, engagement, and even how outrage works, with that even working against him at some times. But emotionally, he's still just a kid dealing with grief. And that balance makes him interesting. Now, I don't want to spoil the entire story for y'all, so I'll just stop there. But there's still some things I want to talk about in the show. In my opinion, the animation quality is pretty good. It's smooth and really expressive at times, especially during the funny moments. The fight scenes from what I've seen aren't half bad either, which is great because this is a battle shonen. One thing that I've noticed while watching was the number of characters that were in the academy. They all seem unique in their own way, especially with their character designs. Like, look at this character. I don't know what this thing is, but it's absolutely adorable, so now it's my favorite character. I really hope as we get more episodes that the show is able to dive into the multitude of characters and give us some insights into their backstories, powers, and why they're studying at the academy. So overall, Dead Account was a surprisingly enjoyable watch. It has a unique concept, a main character who isn't brain dead, a power system that feels pretty creative, and has enough mystery around Akari's death to make me want to keep watching. It's not perfect, and it's definitely not anime of the year. They still have to develop their side casts, and the pacing may feel a little rushed for some people. But for a battle shonen, I believe it's something you should keep your eye on. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, stay safe, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time.